Okay, with this one, we've got two squares. The original square has sides x by x, and the new square has sides x plus 3. It's 3 inches longer for each side. So for area, we want to take the length times the width. So my original square has an area of x times x. And my new square would have an area of the quantity x plus 3 times x plus 3. But these two sides or these two areas are not equal. To make them equal, I have to multiply the smaller square by 25 to set up my equation. Because the new square is 25 times larger, that means if I multiply the smaller square by 25, then I get my equation. Okay, the next thing you'll notice is I actually took the right-hand side and FOILed it out. So if you take x plus 3 times x plus 3, you get x squared plus 6x plus 9. And then because this is a quadratic, I want everything on one side or the other. So I simply subtracted x squared from both sides to get 24x squared on the left, subtracted the 6x to get a minus 6, and subtracted the 9 to get minus 9. And I've rewritten it up above here. Now, I could use in the quadratic a is 24, b is negative 6, and c is negative 9, but it makes it a lot easier if you factor out the common factor. So I took a 3 out. So now, when I use the quadratic, I'll be able to focus on this new quadratic where a is 8, and b is negative 2, and c is negative 3. Now, I also like to write down what negative 4ac is. So negative 4ac will be negative 4 times a is 8 times c is negative 3. That's going to be a positive 96. So now I'm ready to put these into the quadratic formula. I always like to do this in 4 parts. The first part is to put in the opposite of b. b is negative 2, so the opposite would be positive 2. Part 2 is to put in b squared. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Part 3 is to put in this calculation for negative 4 times a times c. That should be 96 there, sorry. So that's a plus 96. And then part 4 is to put in twice a. a is 8, so that would be 16. Okay, now you'll notice what I did is I combined the 4 plus the 96 to get 100. That's kind of nice because when you take the square root of 100, it comes out to be 10. So now we're almost at our final answer. We've actually got 2 answers here. We've got 2 plus 10 over 16 and 2 minus 10 over 16. The first one comes out to be 12 over 16, or 3/4. And the other one comes out to be a negative 8/16, or negative 1/2. The thing is, we end up with what's called an extraneous solution, a solution that works for the equation but not for the application, because we can't have a side of negative 1/2 inches. Remember, x is the length of the original side of the square. So we throw out the negative 1/2 and arrive at the final answer of 3/4. So this square, the original square, has a side of 3/4 of an inch. Now, it didn't ask us, but the new square then would be 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches.